friends. It scares me to death. I'm losing hope and motivation. If I quit holding my breath, I'm losing friends.
Boom. GUYCAST, episode 8 now. So for the first time since the third episode, or the fourth one, Durs is not going to be here. He has to edit his own videos. He's Ustreaming, so make sure you check out his channel on Twitch TV. But because of that, it's going to be a little bit more personal between us, because now I have an actual musician in the house, my friend Alan, aka Alan_N. He's an EDM artist from Phoenix, Arizona as well. Avondale, is that where do you base yourself?
I'm at a Goodyear.
At a Goodyear,
yeah.
So EDM artist from Goodyear, Arizona. I'm a hip hop artist from Phoenix, so it's gonna be awesome to now have a real, basically, GUYCAST. This is what I've been aiming for since the beginning. It's just been hard to get an artist who hasn't, I've been wanting to get more comfortable with the equipment and like the quality and how it goes around and like the formation of everything before I'm like, hey, come over and just talk, because I can do that. I've done it before, but it just didn't look as good. So the whole point of this is to get good quality video and audio and stuff like that. So give a little bit about yourself, like when you started. Exactly.
No, I'm just I was born in Phoenix, in Peoria, and raised there. Moved out of Goodyear. Got into music, into producing music about a year ago. I've been making music for the past 12 years. Playing in hardcore bands, playing guitar, stuff like that. So yeah, that's about it. I mean,
What local bands were you in?
I was in a couple. I was in a band called The Recession. I was in a band called Redeemer for a little bit.
That's right.
I was in Reasons. I was in Reasons for probably about a year. I've been in a bunch of bands, man. But
I was just gonna say, because I knew you were in bands that I've seen before, but there's so many hardcore bands, especially then. It's just like every other death name is just something ridiculous, like hard to remember. But it's crazy because we kind of split ways in like styles of music. Like I know a lot of guys that when they were in the hardcore scene, they started to go to like raves back in the day, and I didn't even know what raves were. And then all of a sudden, I started to see like the hardcore scene slowly like whittle down to
but the thing about that is none of them that started going to raves and stuff like that started making music.
See, that's the thing, is it was the first time that I had seen hardcore not be hardcore. Like, cause hardcore was such a persona.
It was either like they started to get into something else, but they weren't making music anymore, or they stayed in hardcore making hardcore.
Exactly.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think I can name a single person that left hardcore to make hip hop. I can't name a single person that left hardcore to make, house or, whatever it may be. I can't off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's hard. And I'm sure there's like one dude out there who's just pissed right now. Who's like, dude, I used to dance and now I make dope trap beats. But it's just out of our group of friends and stuff, I don't know anyone that kind of did what we did. Like I said, and it's not that hardcore is dead. There's still a bunch of good hardcore bands, a bunch of good of my friends and his friends, and dope-ass local hardcore bands that are touring and making a real impact on traditional hardcore still. So kudos to you guys, but it's awesome to see, kind of a different spectrum. People very, very much trip the fuck out when they're there for a hip-hop show. And I step on stage and they're like, what is about to happen? Because everyone thinks I'm either a drummer or I'm like a singer in some kind of band, and I wished I'd probably have way more, of a following.
It's kind of the same for me too, man. When if I were to show up to a hardcore show these days, of course all my friends are still there, but I mean, I don't really fit in with that crowd too much anymore. You know what I mean?
It's hard because it's a different lifestyle for sure.
It's not only that, but I mean, it's not that they make fun of me, but they'll pick at me about it because I make
criticized.
house music.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's not like, oh, this dude's like.
Yeah, but
it's one of those things. It's small and subtle, but enough to be like, what the fuck?
Right. I have fun with it. I'll play with it as well. Like if someone makes fun of me for being a house producer, I'll be like, yeah, I'm a fucking lame ass house producer. You know what I mean?
It's cool. That's the best way to do it too, is to like just like blow it off and like use their own ammunition against yourself. Right. Like that's why like a lot of hip hop cats get it kind of wrong. Like they personify themselves as so grand and so big that when someone does make fun of them or they do get criticized, they either have to completely step it up
or they quit.
They just stop because
they
don't know what to do with
That's the problem is most people who fucking make music, the first thing they do is they'll sign up for SoundCloud and they'll fucking, they'll have some stupid ass name, 4 songs, to 3 followers, and then they have official
2 comments.
They have official in their name, or they'll start an Instagram and it's fucking hip hop artist / official. Like, the fuck, dude? You have 3 followers and you're sitting here trying to play like you're Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I just think it's so stupid, dude.
And there's a lot of, as much as there is, grandiose hip hop kids, there's a fuckload of DJs right now.
Yeah,
that
for
are
sure.
just sprouting out of nowhere. And I'm not saying I'm against it. I love house. I love electronic music. I was way into electronic music way before I was into hip hop because it was, I don't know. I love techno, like literally like 8-bit. Like techno is a very big genre, and it's a very wide word to use. But I've always been more into like Nintendo Core and 8-bit, and that was kind of weird in the day. Now it's like a main influence on many fucking DJs, and you can hear those sound bits everywhere now in almost every song. So
and I mean, even people ask me, man, if I'm a DJ, and absolutely not. I'm not a DJ. I don't ever want to be a DJ. I'm not bashing on DJs.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not my thing. I'm a house producer. And that's, first and foremost. And, when it comes to playing my live set, I do it completely different. I'm not using, CDJs or turntables or anything like that.
No Seratos.
No Seratos, no tractors, nothing like that. I'm straight building my stuff live. And that's how I want it to be.
And I feel like that's what definitely sets you apart. Not only is your music good, but especially it's good for being a year in, not hardcore, and you're so like your music is based around hardcore from the ground scratch up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's I feel like the same reason with you and me is the reason why we don't get away with just over tracks and back tracks and, like you said, trackers and things along the lines like that.
Yeah.
And most of it has to do not just like with pride, but it's like that's not what I want to hear. I've been a hardcore kid, I've been a show kid, and I know what it's like when a dude literally plays drums with a drum track behind him.
Yeah.
Or like it's just like, dude, we're here, man. We're here to live in the moment. I could listen to your soundtrack, perfect studio quality, in the comfort of my house and the air conditioning, but I'm here sweating in the grime to hear you guys play something live, because your live set, no matter how many times you practice it, no matter how good it's recorded, is always different. Mm-hmm. You'll breathe 1 second beforehand. You'll take an extra step that you didn't think you were going to. Your adrenaline's pumping. Like, I practice songs hundreds of times before I go on stage, but I still do it completely different than 2 seconds before I'm on.
And it would be the same thing for me too, yeah.
And I think that's what's awesome, and that's what's kind of what I'm aiming towards, looking in towards, like, collaborations and things like that, because I want to start throwing events at people's houses, because one, it's super convenient, and now that like people are of age, it's not as fucking crazy as throwing a crazy house show, and it's the best way to make it super it's so not, I don't even want to say convenient, but it's like intimate. You can see them in front of you. A stage is nice, but it's when you're making things like what we're making, the whole point is for like the reaction. You want to see in your face like how the crowd is feeling it, because it's towards you're not only getting a story across, like whether you're using lyrics or not with your beat, it's still like a spectrum of emotions that people are feeling, just based upon like, oh, that sounds like this, or like, oh, that reminds me of this, oh, this. Like, I want to see them up in their face, and I want them to know, like, this is all me. If I fuck up, y'all are gonna know.
Yeah, and it's especially hard for me too, because most people who go to an electronic show these days, they're thinking they're gonna hear some fucking big room house producer, some gigantic party house producer. That's not what I am. My influences are based off of minimal techno, straight just house in general, just different types of like minimal electronic music and progressive music.
It's definitely subtle. Like it's not like in your face.
No, and
like,
I'm not. And
like I just described like Optimus Prime. Like that's like one of those things.
And that's not my thing at all. I like it to be subtle. Of course I want to have those hard-hitting house tracks, but not in the sense of what you'll hear on the radio or anything, any of that kind of bullshit.
Or even as consistent as like, this is my fucking, my bass drops are my songs.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I'm saying? Like, if you have to rely on a bass drop, it's not saying it's cool, it's not saying I'm not like, well, I'm not bumping it and fucking getting down to it. If you do use bass drops, that's awesome, especially like hard style and things like that. But when it comes to like your style of music, I feel like it's like the acoustic, it's like an electronic acoustic. It's weird. Like, it's super strange, and we will enter with an intro and stuff like that, and you guys will be able to sample that, and we'll put the links and things. So I'm just super excited to meet with someone who's just as like-minded,
I suppose.
Yeah, like-minded in a different genre, because I see so many people that like not only have like potential talent, but they're just doing it the wrong way. And I think it's only because of hardcore that's the reason why I came at it with a different angle.
Yeah,
I never came with a backtrack. Like, even my first set ever, not a backtrack. Even my first set ever performing live, I didn't even have a microphone. Like, I was just yelling at a crowd of people. And then I had a freestyle. Like, it was crazy. And so I'm just so glad that there's people out there that are doing just as what we are. And my next goal is to find you guys and get you to do this, and then we're gonna do music together and make videos and like basically I want to start making a documentary of Arizona local, like not just hip hop, but local music. Just because there's so many talented people out here that people don't realize that we're all in our houses because it's hot. But it doesn't mean we're not in our houses bored making dope music. And it's just so many dudes I meet on a daily basis online or in person that are just like, hey, dude, check this out. And I do. Even if it sucks, I listen to their first song. And there's some dudes that are just fucking killing it, man. Especially like the guys that JJ knows. Like those dudes are so talented. Everyone from Scabs to even Tanner. Like I'm just so excited that these guys are not just around, but they're in the circle, which means like hopefully in the future collaborations are going to be flowing through.
Like mine and Tanner.
And it's exactly like that song is so amazing, and the fact that you guys are friends and that I know both of you guys and I've heard the original song, it's just one of those things that's like this needs to happen way more often than it is because.
And that's that's actually something that I've mentioned to like my girlfriend, for instance. Like I think it would be fucking awesome if I were to do like a full 5-track, 7-track EP with Tanner. You know what I mean? Just he's an acoustic artist, man, and I'm a producer. I need people with vocals, and it would just be really tight to be able to do like a full EP with somebody like that.
And that's cool because you don't like one song collaborations are dope. You get sweet to the point, and you guys get a dope collab, and you get to meet each other and stuff like that. But exactly what you're saying is like, dude, if I'm gonna make a song with you, why not make 5?
Exactly.
Like let's make some stuff. Yeah, it's cool to get our imprint, but I feel like if we only had one song together, we couldn't get all the points or all the emotions or all like the things that we were trying to get across with experimenting and stuff like that.
And the thing with Tanner and I, when I did that for him, I took the vocal stems. He wasn't like in the studio with me.
He wasn't with it.
No, it was already a pre-recorded track that he had released on his own acoustic EP. I got the vocal stems from JJ, from his producer, and from his audio engineer, and I took those stems and I warped them. Just did whatever I had to do to resample them basically and get them into my own track.
Yeah.
Dude, his track starts at like 80 BPM. My track's at like 115.
Oh shit.
So I had to literally take every vocal phrase and warp it exactly perfectly, how to fit the track.
How long did it take you to make that song, dude?
A day and a half.
Oh, but the thing is too, is like you're in a lucky situation right now where your main focus is
focus is music.
So that's like your thing, and you're getting so well. You're editing songs in a day. You know what I'm saying? For most local producers, at a year, it's gonna take them at least 2 or 3, just because one, they have a job or they're lazy.
That's where I got lucky with my music background. Because if I didn't have my music background, dude, I'd be nowhere near where I am today. You know what I mean?
But you're so well honed on a craft that you're just putting it into a different output.
Yeah, I was treating Ableton Live like my hobby. You know what I mean? I wake up in the morning and instead of getting on a video game, I'd get on Ableton just to fuck with some, sample manipulation, fuck with compression, multiband dynamics, whatever it may be, just to learn it, dude. Just to play around with it. Did you do a lot of like
did you look up a lot of tutorials to help you at all?
At first I did. No, I didn't know anybody. At first I looked up a lot of tutorials for like the first week. After that, dude, it was just all like
simple.
Well, it wasn't that it was simple. It's just after that it all took training your ears. Once your ears are trained, mine will be being trained for the rest of my life. But it was just really training my ears, learning what compression really did to an audio track, or learning how to use a limiter. Dude, mastering, mixing, and producing are 3 different things.
Yeah. And
I had to learn all 3 of them because I refuse to let anybody ever master my track. I refuse to let anybody ever mix my track. You know what I mean? That's all me, and that's all because I'm a producer. That's what I want to do. So
my struggle with you is like I didn't have the ability to master multiple things. Like it just sucks that I got into music knowing almost nothing, like hip hop wise. Like even as like a hardcore artist, I was only a frontman as a singer, and I fucked around on the keyboard. So everything was vocal for me. I never picked up an instrument really because I just never put in the time to do so. So when I came to like music, it was like I can't make a single thing. I have to find someone to make a beat. I have to find a beat. I have to find a way to record it, like video record it, get it out online. Like I had to become the manager, the producer, the audio engineer, and the director when I suck at all those. Like I'm not good at all those because I'm barely good at vocals, and I'm still practicing my craft. I'm not even close to anywhere being like adequate in my eyes. So I'm constantly writing and researching and things like that, looking up articles to mention and references. But it's also hard when I'm trying to learn audio engineering tutorials while I'm listening to video tutorials, while I'm listening to samples of videos and watching TV and movies so I can learn frames and shots. Like it's just so much to do, and that's why with Bubba is helping so much, because not only do I not have to worry about an engineer anymore, but I'm also don't having to worry about a producer or finding, you know, someone to record me with good quality, because he just knows the right amount of people and is supporting me enough to where local producers are no longer an issue at all. I can make a full length with one of these guys, and I'm ready to just fucking make a 12 song full length with everyone as much as possible, and just don't stop. After that's done, another one. Just keep the songs coming. Just keep the beats coming, because as long as I have steady original beats that I find interesting, there's no way I'm not going to write to them.
Yeah.
Especially if they're from local cats. Like, that's so exciting in my eyes. Seeing someone's stuff online is awesome, but to know that that dude lives 5 minutes away from you, like, what the fuck? I would have never known that this dude existed or had this talent, or even, like, you know, felt this beat in this song if I, you know, didn't meet certain people and didn't start this music. So music has been a huge, like, I don't know, just a huge thing for, like, networking and meeting new people. Like, it's just opened up so many doors that I wouldn't have been able to do if I was just a gamer or something, you know?
Definitely, yeah.
But, we're going to take a break real fast just to save this video. We'll be right back. If I was a beat maker, which I wish I would, like, as much as I love vocals and stuff like that, the ability to make fucking, like, those beats, like, those drum sounds and, you know, sampling stuff. I've been obsessed with sampling since I had smartphones. Like, when HTCs and stuff first started to come out, Android market was the first thing to ever really hit before Apple got a handle on it. And I would, like, make my own ringtones by downloading, you know, weird software like this, and just going online, finding a movie, finding a way to convert it to an MP4, breaking it down, converting it, you know, from AVI to MP4, then cutting it up, chopping it up, importing, exporting, importing into the phone, and then boom, Star Wars ringtone. Yeah. And, like, that's such a complicated process just to hear a lightsaber or a stupid quote from fanboys or something like that. But that's the reason why I have, like, a small handle on, like, recording even this. That's why even all my songs on SoundCloud are the most shittiest quality possible, but I made them just audible enough to listen to. And that has to do with the fact that I just don't, you know, it's not that I don't want to, it's just tutorial-wise, I feel like I'll learn way better once I get hands-on with someone who's, like, someone who makes beats or someone who actually does record or produce, such as yourself, and I can sit there and watch them work, because I pick up things way easier than a tutorial. A tutorial is super simple and gets straight to the point, but in my, like, learning ability, like, I need to see someone do it.
You can't ask a tutorial questions. That's the problem.
Exactly. Because I'm like, wait, where is that? Oh, I'm 3 steps behind now.
Dude, that's why I had to learn everything on my own, man. After tutorials, I was just like, fuck this. I'm sick of trying to find, you know, a tutorial, a 45-minute tutorial, and me trying to click on one thing. Yeah. Like, I was over it, so I started learning on my own, man.
So what have you done as far as, like, recorded wise? Like, are you working on an EP right now? Are you working on a full length? Are you just putting out songs and trying to get your bass right there?
No, I put out an EP on the 20th of March, which was, like, whatever for me. It was literally just a compilation of tracks that, like, I had first. No, just like tracks. The past year. Yeah, just bullshit tracks, man.
Your first tracks.
Yeah, so it wasn't like anything great. You know,
and you weren't super proud of it, but you knew that someone had to hear it because you had put so much time
just because
into it.
I was ready to just fucking move on.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's why I put it out. I don't give a shit if anybody listens to it at all.
You just don't want to make those songs anymore.
I was just tired of fucking opening them up in Ableton. That's it. So right now, I'm working on basically building my live set. So it's just a matter of building or buying gear. You know, warping shit in Ableton, getting shit, you know, lined up and everything, and breaking tracks down if, you know, I want to break a certain track down, just whatever it may be. Building my live set is one thing I'm working on. Kind of working on another album, but dude, I don't want to release one for at least another year. You know what I mean? Because I like
give people enough time to, like, hear the EP and get it out, and also for you to develop.
No, it's more so like I said, I don't give a shit if anybody listens to the EP because it's nothing compared to the stuff I make now. But it's just more so giving myself time to develop. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You want to get skill level to where, like, you're like, I want to put out something. Yeah. Like, so right now it's like, you don't want to feel like you need to.
No, and I don't feel like I need to. I mean, you know, if people want to listen to my shit, then they'll go on my SoundCloud and check out those last 3 tracks I posted or whatever it may be. But I mean, it's more so I'm just waiting to see what happens in a year, I guess. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if...
Do you have, like, a set date? You're like, after,
No.
like, February, whatever?
No, I mean, it'll just... One day will come where I'm
it.
like, fuck it, I'm ready to put out an EP, and then, or a full length or whatever it may be. The next one will be a full length for sure, just because I don't need to put out any more EPs.
Have you been actively seeking out, like, singers and things like that, or are you, like, interested at all in,
I
like...
honestly am not a fan of collaborations very much.
So is it, like, are you using mostly, like, samples, like, that you make yourself, or do you even use a lot of samples in your stuff?
It depends. I do use a lot of drum samples because samples are kind of necessary in music when you're producing music. So of course I'll use, it depends, man. Sometimes I'll synthesize my kicks and my hi-hats and shit like that, my snares. Sometimes I'll just layer samples. But you'll almost never, ever, ever hear in my tracks just a straightforward sample. It'll always be processed to fucking hell, or... Can I cuss in this?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, okay.
I'm fucking...
It'll be layered like crazy. Like my snares and my claps are layered at least like 4 claps and a snare. So like all my shit's layered, you know what I mean? So you'll never hear a straightforward sample. But yeah, I just kind of work with either synthesizing shit or just pulling it straight out of sample pack. So it just depends.
Where's your like not necessarily goal, but do you have an idea in mind where you want to perform, or like do you have a bunch of people you're like, dude, I really want you to come here when you're ready and stuff like that?
I have one goal in my life when it comes to music production, and this one goal only, and that's all I care about really, and that's to be signed to deadmau5's record label Mousetrap.
I've never heard like his people on his label. I've heard like a couple of songs that I could never put on deadmau5 and be like, oh, I think I know that's deadmau5, but I've heard like songs enough to where I'm like, I know this dude's fucking pretty fucking talented.
Yeah, I mean,
just another DJ.
In my opinion, and that's the thing, he's not even a DJ, man. He's not mixing. Well, I mean, he mixes, but he doesn't do it traditionally. So, that's the thing I love about Mousetrap, dude, is that like every single artist on Mousetrap, you would never hear play a fucking main stage. You know what I mean? They're all like, it's like the underground mainstream label.
Record label, that's what's up,
it's kind of hard to explain. They're all artists with underground
music.
Sounds in the mainstream, basically. So
that's
what I fucking love about Mousetrap. And of course, deadmau5 himself is, in my opinion, probably one of the best producers in the world. The dude really knows his shit. So
I feel like there's like a definite like parallel kind of thing going on with like what our goals are in a way, because like yes, it would be amazing to be signed to a label, but it would also suck to be signed to a label that I didn't agree with, or that I wasn't, that I didn't like the other artists on it as well. Like, not saying I need to like every single person that is on the label, but I want to be able to enjoy making music around them and with them and tour with them and stuff like that. And most of the dudes that I find the most interesting are on YouTube. The dudes that are just rapping from their closets and got picked up by local cats, now they're all a group. Like,
well, and it's I think it's harder. I don't know if I want to say harder because I feel like that undermines you, but when it comes to EDM, dude, there is a fuck ton of EDM producers in this world right now.
Dude, there's so many. It's not that hard to get into. It's hard to be good at it, and it's hard to make original stuff to be noticed, but it's not that hard to get into, and that's a huge problem.
But that's the thing, is because there's a fuck ton of producers, it's hard to meet those good underground producers.
Because you have to get through all those shitty ones.
Exactly. Dude, I can't tell you how many times the fucking, since I started producing that, some kid fucking, hey, check out my Instagram or whatever it may be, and I go and I'm like, God damn. Yeah, dude.
I've had a lot of experiences with that too, but not as much, because like you said, there's way more DJs, and it's way easier for a DJ to put his stuff on SoundCloud than it is a kid to record in his closet.
Yeah,
so there's so much. There's just so much. It's so easy to get your stuff on there, but like you said, it's hard to fucking stand out and be
exactly.
Real
and I want to be humble about it too. I don't want to just fucking flip every producer that comes my way off, even though that's my personality type.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though my personality type's like, just fucking leave me alone. But I want to be humble, dude. It's just, it's hard when
it's constant.
When you are trying to be confident in your own and not worry about other people. You know what I mean? So it's
a balance for sure. You cannot take the time and help everybody, but the couple few.
I mean, if someone were to come up to me and ask me, hey, I noticed your EQ work sounds like this, or it works like this. How do you do that? For sure,
well,
I'll help them out.
That's different than a dude being like, hey, you need to listen to my stuff.
Exactly, and
that's,
not to mention,
if they're persistent.
Not to mention, house producers or EDM producers. I fucking hate the word EDM, but house producers, EDM, whatever you want to fucking call it. The first thing that they say to you when they find out that you produce is, hey, let's collab. It's fucking collab city, apparently. I don't, dude, that's what I'm talking about. I don't like to collab with people strictly because I got into music for myself. I have no fucking reason to collab with anybody. If I want to collab with you, if you suggest a collab with me, then, you know, I'll think about it and I'll see what I really feel. But there is literally probably 3 people or 2 people actually that I've ever collabed with. That's my buddy Joel, and that's Tanner. Mm-hmm. And Tanner wasn't even really a collab, you know,
he
but
just gave you a stout,
but Joel has a very similar, you know, style as I do, and he's literally been there since day one, you know, and he found one of my super old tracks and mastered it for me, and we've just been friends ever since.
That's awesome.
You know, and then I picked up, because he's a professional mastering engineer out of Texas, so him and I are pretty close friends. We, you know, bounce tracks back and forth on each other all the time, and we actually have a 2-man kind of collab group going. It's called System 32.
So that's like what you would call your team.
Yeah, but I mean, don't get me wrong, dude. For instance, if you came to me and you were like, I want to, you know, write a hip-hop track with a house beat, then I'd be fucking down. If you came to me and said you wanted to produce a hip-hop song, period, I'd be down. Just because we're friends. I know you, I'm aware of your talent. And that's not even trying to hold myself on a fucking pedestal. Mm-hmm. That's just me trying to do things. You're choosing your battles, dude. Exactly, and choosing ways to push myself forward.
For a reason, you're trying to progress. Like, a collaboration is fun, but it's there because you're trying to, 1, build a fan base, and 2, put out a different skill set and experiment.
Exactly. Like, why would I ever collab with somebody who just started producing 2 weeks ago? You know what I mean? Because, I mean, that's not going to help either of us.
Exactly. If anything, it's going to slow him down because you're working too
fast. And when it
comes... It's going to slow you down because he doesn't know what he's doing.
When it comes to collabs, too, the only... I mean, what you do is you work on a track, you save it, you save and, you know, collect all the files, you fucking send it to that guy, and then he opens it up and does it on his own computer. Mm-hmm. So it's not like I'm sitting there like,
with
hey,
the dude holding his hand.
Exactly. It's not, I mean, that might be a little different, because then it'd be fun to work with somebody to teach somebody. But I'm not teaching anybody here.
Yeah.
All this dude is doing is fucking putting my name on his work and his name on my work, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's different if, you know, me and you were to work together, because then you'd be at my house producing in my studio.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm super interested in, like, not only with you, but there's a lot of dudes out there that make so good quality stuff. And it's easy to get a hold of them. It's just been a matter of myself to being like you said, I've been trying to develop myself since day one, and I've had a lot of stumbles, I've had a lot of, you know, fallouts to do with just whether or not my personal life, my financial ability, things going on with my son and stuff like that. So now it's to the point where it's like I'm so ready to go deep, like balls deep, all in, because of the response that I've been getting from live shows. Like I have not actively put out a new song in 6 months. Yeah. Like I put out stand up, but that's solely because we were recording this EP. And that was because for 6 months I was just not that serious about it. I started to get serious about a year ago. And after that, 6 months later, helped co-hosting a show. I'm making videos for money, and I'm getting hit up constantly online for collaborations, which is awesome. But at the same time, I myself was not confident about myself to where I was like, I need to make a new song today. Or it's like, oh, I need to go find a local producer. But now at this state, months later, after the fucking blowback from the GUYCAST and from seeing people respond to the last video I posted, it's like, that's all I want to do. It's the only thing that I can see myself as helping progress, because it's not saying that I'm lazy, but it just helps when there's a dude who wants to put something out on a deadline, or he's like, dude, we should do this on this date, like they're just, I need to now build a schedule.
Musicians are hard people to get a hold of usually. I mean, a lot of us are fucked up in the head, you know?
The good ones are crazy.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
The problem, is like, we got some shit going on. And so it's not only finding the ones that are talented, but it's finding the ones that are so talented that you're willing to deal with the crazy shit that they got going on.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a wild west right now, but I'm super excited. Me and Bubba are already talking about taking tours of California, and as soon as we get this EP out, dude, like even now I'm starting to write for the full length. Like it's coming very, very soon. We're not going to release it for at least another 6 months, just because the EP is about to come out, if not a year. But it's going to be so filled with local talent that it's going to be hard for anyone in Arizona to, like, you know, not look at it, because it's either going to have a local acoustic set, it's going to either have some kind of like trap or EDM set, or it's going to have just raw producers, like local grimy 1990s boom bap hip hop. So I'm super excited to see what you and me are going to come with, and I'm super excited to see where you're going to be at in a year.
Our stuff will definitely have weird sounds in it.
I'm pumped, dude, because I've been so like stuck on one style, it sucks. It's good because I'm professional at that style, but I'm trying to expand because my songs, I feel like they could sound like a completely different album.
Well, and
time.
another thing, dude, is like you got to think you have artists like Joey Badass that are using those kinds of beats, which makes everyone and their fucking mom use those kinds of beats because he's so goddamn big.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I'm not trashing on those beats at all. I think they're great, but
it's definitely a very common thing. Right
yeah,
now.
how are you gonna set yourself apart when all you're doing is sampling some fucking '90s track?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So now I'm trying to put myself apart by like, dude, this dude has not only a trap beat, but he has a dope house song, and through 2 acoustic sets, an acapella, a freestyle, and like a '90s hip hop.
Yeah.
Like, it's just I'm so excited to get going. Like, as far as like getting tours and shows going, because I'm so tired of playing these open mics that I will go for practice and do my new songs, but I am so tired of making that my focus. Like, my next focus is getting on stages in front of at least more than 30 people, because I've been performing for less for the past 2 years, and I'm ready to step it up and invest in what I need to, is time and money to get to that step.
For
so
sure.
do you have anything that's that you said you're not making an album this second, but do you have any songs that are coming out at all recently? Like, I saw on Instagram you posted a like a 15-second clip of a song.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude,
your EP.
on my Instagram, everything you'll hear on my Instagram is new. Nothing is from the EP at all. I hope those tracks get fucking buried.
That's what I'm trying to do with my songs too.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make so much that no one
Like
can
I
find
mean,
them.
if I go back and listen to them, I'm not fucking completely against them. I just don't care for them anymore.
I just feel like, I can't speak for you, but I just feel like I'm so much better now that it's just like, I can't believe I made that. Like, I can't believe I was confident about it as well.
Exactly.
Like, I was pumped. I was like, this is skill.
And now, for the past 5 months, it's gotten to the point where my skill level has plateaued, which means that I'm officially producing consistent tracks instead of this track sounds 1,000 times better than this track. They're all consistent.
That's a very good point.
But to answer your question, releasing tracks, not really. I mean, I'm just.
Are you not a fan of like releasing single songs? Or are you way more like likely to release like a bulk set instead of one here and there?
To be honest, I don't really care either or.
It's just what comes out.
Just whatever I feel like doing. One day I'll wake up and say, "Fuck it, I'll finish this track today and put it out." Because right now, on my fan base, it's like, it's not like it really matters. You know what I mean? If I had a record label to talk to and be like, hey, should I do this or should I do that, whatever, then that'd be a different story. But right now it's all 100% my choice. What the fuck does it matter whether I put out a single yesterday or tomorrow? You know what I mean? So it's just based on whenever I feel necessary. If anything ever comes from it, then that will be the way it was supposed to happen. You know what I mean? I had an interview with a guy from the UK based on my EP release. You know what I mean? He really dug a track it was like my second track I ever released, and we kept in touch over the past year. And when I released my EP on the 20th of March, was it February 20th of February, I think? Yeah, maybe. When I released it, he wanted to do like a full record release EP. He runs like a unsigned EDM podcast, which is just nothing but artists. But this was the first podcast he ever did with just one consistent artist in an interview. So that was cool. I've done stuff like that.
So what did you do? Like Skype it?
The way it worked is like we just basically had our mic set up across the country. I had mine set up in my room. He had his set up. And we just recorded in our own DAWs and just to make sure we had backup tracks and all that kind of stuff.
And then you just mixed it later? Okay, I thought you were streaming it.
No, we just Skyped. It was a podcast, but we did it over video.
Yeah.
So we just recorded the audio and just exported the audio out.
Dude, that's awesome. Dude, that's super cool. I mean, like, I definitely love the video podcast. I love that I can stream, and I love that people like to see high quality stuff. But I definitely am looking for cats in Canada and in the UK and Europe that are dope ass hip hop artists that we can do exactly what you did. Just, dude, let's record our sound files. We'll Skype an interview or FaceTime if we have to, and then we'll just get it going. It'll be a 20-minute podcast, and we'll just do audio, and then we can either screenshot our desktops or we can do something along the lines like that too. And I want to do that with other artists as well, because it's kind of hard to get here, just because most of the cats live in the east side, and it's just inconvenient sometimes. But most likely, 90% of these will always be video, whether we're streaming from here or the GoPro or from the C920. But I will be looking into audio and stuff like that. But I'm super excited for what's in the future. Do you have anything to promote besides your Instagram? You want to give them your YouTube links and stuff?
To be honest, I don't even fucking know them, man.
Do you have you don't have like a YouTube channel?
No, I do. I just don't know my links. We'll just fucking drop them in the description. Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Well, you'll get there, man. You'll get to the point where, like, your Instagram and your YouTube, and you'll have a website where people can come and buy your shit. Like, dude, it's going to get to the point where people are going to start paying for either you to produce a beat, or they're just going to like your fucking song. And that's kind of where I'm getting to, but it's, you know, you're definitely way more mastered at your talent than I am, but hopefully with time, you know, we'll get there. But this has been dope, dude. This has been the first music podcast. We will be introing with his song as well, leaving with it too, so we'll have small samples of that. If you guys like it, and if you like the conversation, make sure you tune in for next week. We're going to come back again at this on Thursday, but you can check Alan out, AL_N, and then you can find me, GUYV3R. That's basically my name on YouTube, but everywhere from Twitter to Facebook and Instagram is TH3 GUYCAST, because I'm making this my main focus right now, as well as I'm making the full length, but this is what I'm doing on a daily basis. I'm either going to be posting, editing, or basically promoting and trying to get other people on there. I will be periscoping every single day as much as possible, so if you have a Twitter, make sure you download the Periscope app. It's only for Apple users right now, but it will be being adapted into the Android market, hopefully within the end of the year. If not, just hopefully you find a friend with an iPhone, because this thing is dope as fuck. I get to watch my favorite comedians. You can watch your actors, your sport athletes, or whatever you call them. Watch them, live stream them drinking beers with their friends, or telling a story at a campfire. Like, it's so easy to stream, and you don't need that high quality internet at all to run it. It's super, super convenient for people like me who are broadcasting 24/7 basically, and it now has a place to go online where people can watch. We had a couple cats watching the live stream. We will be posting this on Monday of next week, so make sure you guys stay tuned. I'm Guyver. This has been the GUYCAST. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.
I'm losing days, telling myself it's okay. I'm dreaming of crushed knees, and what if my feet lead